What's up everybody, Chill Scrub here, man. Come back at you with another video. This time I want to discuss Dan and my thoughts on Dan since my first pretty much week with him. He's just came out. I know a lot of people have been digging into the character, but I want to discuss my thoughts. And so far, I think that Dan is a pretty solid character. I wouldn't say he's the best. I wouldn't say he's broken. There's a lot of people that are complaining about the infinite and all that. Like, that's a very ideal situation that you're going to catch somebody in all the time. It's extremely hard to do. Not to mention you have to have the proper spacing and things like that. But for us normal people that aren't gods at Street Fighter V, to me, I feel like he requires a lot of work, especially depending on what V trigger and what V skill you use. Me preferably, I like V trigger 1 and I like V skill 2. I just like to optimize the damage off of that. But his utility for his V skill 1, V skill 2, V trigger 1 and V skill 1 is very good against Shotos and things of that nature. But I want to dive into the character so y'all can see what I'm talking about personally. So we're gonna head to another screen and we're gonna try out some Dan. All right, guys. So we're here. We're in the screen now. Let's talk about some Dan here. I think I have everything on block. So let's go over some of his normals. His standing light +3, really good. His standing strong +3, but look at the range. It has no range on it. His light, on the other hand, has a lot more range to me than his standing strong. So that's a good tool. Now, the best footsie tool that I like to use, that I've been using a lot lately, is the standing medium kick or the standing forward, which is -2, spaced out properly. It's -2 regardless, but it keeps people out. It's a good keep out tool. Now he goes to his jab, +2, his crouching light. His crouching short is +1. I think his stand short is exactly neutral. Yeah, like I thought it's neutral on block. His standing fierce is -2. His standing his standing roundhouse is definitely, I think it's -4 if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it's definitely -4. So you can get punished for that with certain characters at certain ranges. I was testing it out earlier with Ryu, and his standing, he can check you with the jab or with his crouching light, or certain ranges. If you press some buttons, he can check you with a crouching medium punch or a crouching strong. So let's talk about Dan kicks, because the Dan kicks compared to 4 are a lot different. He gets a lot of things that, well, it's weird because depending on what V trigger you're using, I can definitely switch out V triggers. But when you're playing the combination V trigger 1 and V skill 2, you don't end up getting, you have to space out your Dan kicks perfectly or you're gonna get punished for them. I think all of them deep in are like -5 or worse. Oh, -2. Okay, so yeah, the light one is -5, -2, and I think the other one's like -4 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, -4. So roundhouse Dan kicks are -4. Light Dan kicks deep in is -5, which is extremely punishable, and medium Dan kicks or strong Dan kicks are exactly -2. Now the trick is when you're using V trigger, when you're using V skill 1, you can opt out and make every last Dan kick -2. So let's check this out. I'm gonna go ahead and switch it real quick so you can see what I mean. So when you have V skill 1, you have the option to make every Dan kick -2. And that's great because you don't have to worry about reversal DPs that are 3 startup or any kind of 3-frame jab or anything like that. So it lends its option to you if you want to be risky and go for the obvious, the EXDP, the counter, because I have it set to where she attacks after the jab, or you can go for something like a throw, something simple like that. But back to the Dan kicks. Let's do with the medium Dan kicks, -2, and with the heavy Dan kicks, it's still -2. So all of them are -2, and you have the access to the whole fireball shenanigans. And it's easy to build V trigger with this character. So when you're playing a Shoto-like character or going against a Shoto-like character, V skill 1 and V trigger 1, you can't go wrong with it. You can go either way with the fireball. Mind my scrubbiness because I can't throw one. And you build V trigger extremely fast. And as you can see, he only has 1 bar. So back to my original setup. Yeah, V skill 2, V trigger 1. So let's talk about his DP. His DP, it still feels the same as it does in Street Fighter 4. Still feel like it has that 4-frame startup, and then it doesn't have that 3-frame startup goodness like other characters. His sweep back to the normals. His crouching roundhouse is pretty good. But it's not something that I will use often. But when we're talking about V skill 2, that's where all the crazy counsels come in, and you can get like crazy stuff like stuff like that. But be mindful, because here's the thing: if you're trying to do these counsels and you screw up the counsel and you end up getting the actual taunt itself, it's -6 and you can't be punished for it. The only thing that can save you after that, if you just you will have to go into V trigger and waste the bar, but it's so easy to get it back. So like, let's say if you mess it up, you can just always V trigger. So when you're playing good players that don't know the matchup, or you're playing somebody that's timid and not scared to press buttons, you can kind of get away with doing the counsel and screwing it up from time to time. There's one thing I do find a problem with Dan though, starting off, since I've been playing him for about a good 2 weeks. He lacks the damage that he had in Street Fighter 4, and that's just my personal opinion. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would disagree with me, but he just doesn't do the damage. But what he doesn't do in damage, he does up in mix-up potential and his plus frames, and he can be quite annoying to me when played correctly. So I was seeing streamers do things like, let's go back to the actual gameplay. So I was seeing streamers do something like boom, boom, and if you space it right, hold on, let me make sure it's on block ball. You can make it +2, so you can really get some crazy things with the Dan kicks. And with that, like, you do a jab, after that it pretty much shuts down anything they're going to do. The only thing they can possibly do is probably EX out of it, and you'll get hit for that, but they'll have to waste a bar just to get you off of them. Or if they like to go for a risky V reversal, end up getting tick throwed out of it. So yeah, Dan, he's good, but his damage is just not it for me. It's just not. So let's try some normal combos you'll probably end up doing. Let's say boom, boom, that's pretty normal. It does decent damage, 253. That's not that bad, but there's characters that do a lot more for a lot less. And again, if you notice one thing, that Dan, to me, he seems very meter reliant, and he has to use a lot of meter to get a decent amount of damage off. I mean, compared to, so you missing out on almost 50 damage right there without the meter. Now at the corner, he gets dangerous because you can turn that same combo into something nasty. And you have stuff like that, but that's 305 damage, and you still get the corner. But again, it's corner specific, so it's something that you don't want to rely on too much. So like, hold on, let me see. Good lord, I'm trash. Jesus. So 323, this is decent damage, but again, you still have to use the meter. His super is okay. It doesn't have that property like it does in 4, where he can actually, like, is invincible to fireballs at certain ranges, like on the start of a fireball. But it's okay for damage sake, but it's just not something that I would just go to like that. His V trigger 2 is pretty cool. I mean, but the thing about the reason why I'm not gonna really try to like go over it, or I don't use it that often, is because of the fact that it just doesn't give me the damage output that I want, and the other tools are just more accessible to me, because I feel like the V trigger, well, the V skill 2, with the V skill 2, I can lock somebody down, and when I'm using V trigger 1, I still always have that out just in case I mess up with the V trigger. I can just always pop V trigger with the Go Hado, and I can get myself out of a situation where I don't have to worry about dying for messing up something simple, as you saw me mess up earlier. As far as anti-airs, his anti-airs are pretty standard. What they did do let me switch over. What they did do to his anti-air that I noticed is that his down fierce is significantly better than what it was in Street Fighter 4. His down fierce in Street Fighter 4 was complete trash. Good luck trying to anti-air somebody with that. It will always have to be a medium punch or EX DP. So I'm glad they gave him that. We can talk about his fireball for a second. His fireball is pretty good. He has a charged fireball, and on block it's +4, so it's +4 all the way charged. On hit it's +12, so it's monstrous. So I said +12. On hit it's plus forever. But on his block string, when it comes to fireballs, it's actually better than Ryu's. Like, because on most Shoto characters, when you're doing low forward fireball, even though Dance doesn't have the range, with Shotos it's 9 times out of 10 like minus, I think it's like -4, -5, -6, somewhere around there. But with Dan, it's only -2, so he's perfectly safe on each situation. Now, if you just happen to charge it, -1, +4. So his fireball is really good, and the thing about his fireball timing is it has a deceptive part that I really like about it. So while you're charging the fireball, you can get a DP out of it. If they're trying to jump it, you get an easy DP. I've done it plenty of times. I will probably I'll show some footage of that with me actually getting the DP after the fireball. So it's really good. And when you're using V skill 1, you can definitely like roll out. So if you see somebody about to come at you, you just roll out, and it's a safe way to avoid getting hit on a jump in off a bad fireball. So Dan is really good in that regard. My only problem with Dan is, well, another problem I do have with Dan is it's hard to get in with the character. I feel like Dan, it's just too much work. Like when you have a character like Karen, where she has a lot of moves that can beat fireball characters, because she gives characters like Ryu, Giles, Sagat a hard time. Dan, on the other hand, he doesn't have that. But I do like Dan's normals, even though they're pretty slow to me. Like a character like Karen out prioritizes her a lot, and I find that really aggravating. But again, I don't want Dan to be the perfect character. I still feel like he requires work, so I do thoroughly enjoy the character because it stays true to he actually needs to work to win. Even though a lot of people are obsessing over the infinite and the fact that he has that in the game, but how many people do you know are going to actually pull that off in match? And if you can see somebody that pulls that off in match, please link that to me in the description below so I can check that out, and y'all can say Chill Scrub, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, shut up. What are other things that I like with Dan so far? I don't really care for his crush counter. I feel like you don't get enough damage off of it. Let's just reset it, and let's set the character to do like a jab or something after a frame trap, so I can like, yeah, that'll work. And I just do something. All right, so a reversal jab. So let's try that and see how it works. See, the thing about that crush counter, it knocks down. I don't really care for that. Let's try a reversal wake up option. Let's try that. But I want to show you what I mean by, like, let's say like a person does an EXDP and you trying to like punish them for it. What is Karen's wake up options? I don't know, Karen. Jesus Christ. There we go. So I'm just gonna throw, and then I'm going to hit her with a crush counter, and I want to show you what like you get out of that. Set wake up options. Yeah, I can go to 1. All right, so I'm gonna knock her down. You still have to use meter to get decent damage. That's one option. Another option is fuck it up. Sorry. God, shield your trash. You got stuff like that. That's pretty cool, but again, to me, it's just okay. You get the V trigger back really fast, but at the same time, you have to use meter to get any kind of real damage. Unlike a character like Cough Cough Ryu that doesn't need to abuse meter to get damage, or use risky setups if he doesn't have the meter with the V trigger 1 V skill 2 setup. Without that, I feel like when you're running V skill 1 V trigger 1, you sacrifice the frame traps and you sacrifice the damage to a certain degree to for more movement, but you gain meter a little bit faster, so that's one plus. And I feel like with V skill 2, with V trigger 2, it just doesn't do the damage for me. I mean, it has a lot of corner carry and that's cool, but it just doesn't do the damage for me. It just doesn't. So I just don't, for me personally, I wouldn't use it, but if you want to, go ahead. But so far, that's it for right now with me. Again, this is not a full guide or a full overview. These are just my thoughts on the character and how I feel about the character. And so far, I'm really digging Dan. I'm going to keep playing with the character. Hopefully, I keep getting better. And probably a month from now, everything that I've said in this video, hopefully, won't be accurate and I will be completely wrong, and I will have to remake this video and show like, okay, this is how you really play Dan. I hope some great players found out some new tech about Dan, and I want you guys to pick him up, enjoy him, and have a good time. And don't forget, you're not playing Dan if you're not trolling. Feel me? So with all that being said, this is the end of another Chill Scrub video. I will be streaming on tonight, same time as usual, out on the outro, 12 a.m. So if you want to check that out, please do. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and for the love of God, please share the video because I need some love. Peace out and have a good one.